Now let us install Ansible on the host machine. Sudo apt update just to update the machine we are using. So we are using the documentation, and we are going to copy the command from the documents to install it. So the second command from the documentation, which is to install this common softwares, that's what I've copied. So the third one is to copy the repository, Ansible repository. Then we paste that. We want to add it to that machine. And after that, there is this last command, which is sudo apt install Ansible itself. Then copy, paste. Yes. Okay. So we have the Ansible installed. Now the next thing we need to do is to install Git, because we need to use whatever we are doing. We need to use it with GitHub. So I've created a new repository on GitHub, which I want to name Ansible underscore tutorial. Then I'll put okay, I leave it in public. I click on readme. Then okay, let me just leave it that way. Let me just create it. So then I will now go to the settings. So the essence of going to the settings is to add the SSH key that we've created. We generated a public key in the first tutorial, so we're going to let me just name it Adini. Then I'll go back to my machine to copy that public key. So let me just say, first let me check. Let me just see. Okay, so what is the let me cut it first. Cat.ssh slash I think is ID 25519 pub. Oh, I made a mistake. So let me change it. I think I made a mistake. So it's 1 instead of 2. Alright. Now we have the public key, so I can just copy that, then paste. So here I think that we are fine, so we can just add the SSH key. I will put my password here since it's asking for it. Alright. So here I just want to clone it, so I'll click on SSH, then copy. So I can put let me clear it first, git clone, then let me paste what I copied from the GitHub. Alright, okay, fingerprint, yes. Right, so that's that, and I've been able to clone that with. So here I just want to set the configuration so that there won't be any issue. Let me just say git config. Okay, my name, let me put my name, let me say user.email. So it's your choice, you can put your email in. So let me just say ni@oadeni.com.ng. that was actually my email. Alright, so let me just change into that directory, that's Ansible underscore tutorial. That's a directory we have on GitHub, right? So let me see, we can see the readme is part of what we have. So let me even see, is there anything in the readme file? Okay, nothing. Alright, so since there is nothing, okay, let me just see. Okay, let me cut. Okay, that's the config that I just created. Alright, so let me put something into that readme. Let me just put anything inside. So the essence of doing this is just to see how your machine sync with GitHub. They are versioning control, so whatever you do on that your host machine, you can also sync it with GitHub so that there won't be any issue. So let me just put an information. Let me just call it, this is my ansible. Okay, tutorial. I don't need underscore. Let me just put tutorial. Okay. Alright, let me just save this. So here, let me check the git. You can see it is there. So let me just add that one to the, because we need to add it to that repository. So I do, let me check. Okay, so it's not there, nothing is changed. So let me do git add, then I'll say readme.md. So enter. Then here I can also say git status. Let me check it. So it's ready for us to commit it. So we can say git commit. So let's put a message -m. So let me just call this updated readme file. Okay, so let me just say initial commit. You can put any message you like. So now it's ready for us to commit. So now we can just push that to the GitHub repo. So how do we do that? I just want to check. Okay, so I need to put it to main. We have main. Some can have master, but I have main. So I've pushed. Let me refresh. You can see that's the information that I input on that machine. This is my Ansible tutorial. Alright, so here let me create an inventory. So I should say via inventory. Okay, so from here I now need to put the inventory. What I want to create is, it will be the administration name of those servers and the public IP. So the first administration name of the server one is Azure Tutor 1. Let me copy the public IP. Let me copy that. Okay. Alright. So let me just then Azure Tutor 2, which is the second administrator name for the server 2. So let me go and copy the public IP for server 2. Alright, copy. So I can paste that. I think this is fine. So let me just save this and edit. Alright, so if you check, you can see you have inventory file there. So I can now add this one. Let me check git status. You see it is still showing that color. We've not actually pushed to GitHub. So I can say git add inventory. So once we enter, let me just check it again. Let me say git status. Now it's ready to be committed. So I can just say git commit -m. Then you can put any message that you want. So let me say first version of the inventory. Okay, file. Let me just leave it this way. Alright, so it's ready for commit. Okay, alright, the last thing is to push to GitHub, which is git push origin main. Bam, and that is it. So if you go back to GitHub page, you can refresh and you see the inventory file there. Refresh. Okay, you see inventory file. See, that's what we just added from the machine, which you can see what it's contained, the servers. Alright, so okay, so let's just go back to the host machine. Let me clear this first. Space. Alright, so the next thing that I want to do is to let us run something against whatever we've, the configuration we've done. So there's a command. Let me say ansible. Let me just call it ansible all key far. Okay, let me just use that directory, which is ed2519. Okay, let me just say fin input inventory. So okay, -m, which is ping. Alright, So now it's just to ping all the machines that I have there. So but I think that command is too long, so let me just do this. Let me create a config file because I want to be able to run a shorter command, so that's why I want to create that config file. So from the config file here I can just say defaults. Okay, then I can call it, let's say, inventory equals to inventory. Okay, then I can say private key underscore keys underscore file. Let me just say equals let me put the directory of that private key, which is home.ssh slash id underscore ed25519. Alright, I think that's fine. So here we can just save and quit. So let's alright, you can see it is added. So here we can now run the command again, ansible all-m ping, and that is it. It gives you the same output, the same result you saw earlier. So now if we want to run another command, let's say ansible or hyphen m, let me say, so we just want to gather facts as well. Okay, gather facts. So here is this, we can use this command to investigate all the servers. You can have over 1,000 servers, you can have 500 servers. So once you use this command, you can now go through all the servers, all the informations of that server, whatever you want to check from there, the processor, the hypervisor, the type of server, anything you want to see on the server. You can use gather facts to check. You can see what we are seeing, ansible virtualization. So here you can also now git status, because I've added a file but I've not pushed to GitHub, so that's why I use git status. So I have to do git add ansible.cfg. Okay, enter. Yeah, so I can now say git commit hyphen let me just say, let me put a message, first version of ansible config. Okay, ansible configuration ansible.cfg. So you can put any message, it's your choice though, so let me just leave it that way. Then the next is to now push it to GitHub. So git push origin main, and that is it. So you can go back to GitHub, go to the repository where you have what your repo, so you can refresh. So once you refresh, you can see ansible.cfg is there already, and you can see the content of that ansible.cfg. So yes, go back, you can see everything is there. So let's go back to the host machine. So let's say ansible or hyphen m. Now we want to see if we can even update all the other servers. We've updated the host servers from initially, but now we want to update all the other servers that we are controlling, right? So you can use this command. So do all this command, you can see them in ansible documentation, right, if you want to use them. So let's say update, okay, become pass. So this one is just for the password to access all of them, so we can just put, and the essence of this is that's if they are using the same password though. So let me just put password. You can see is updating the first server, which is server 1. You can see, so now updated the second server. You can see now the update is completed just because we have just 2 servers. You can actually do this on the server just because we have 2, but if you have like 500 server, this is all you need to do. Just run that command and all the servers will be updated. So there is another command I want to try. Let me see if we can update distro. Let me see, upgrade equals dist. Okay, let me see. Let me put the password. And that is that. So it's update, so it has upgraded the dist. So it is not just working on the host machine, it's working across all the servers that we are controlling from the host machine. So let's just create let's install. So we want to install Apache on all of those machines again. So let's just say via install, um, because there is a playbook that is also that you need to use. You can't just be using that command. So we want to put a playbook here. Let me just say so playbook starts with 3 hyphens, then, and while I'm doing this, you need to know that playbook, if you're using playbook, you also need to be careful of the indentation. So you can't just you should understand playbook. It is in form of YAML. That's why when you see that I was trying to create the playbook, I put dot YAML, you know. So if you want to understand playbook, you can always look that up. So let me just say task. So what's the task that I want to perform? We want to install. Let me put name of the task. So we want to install. That's the task we want to perform here. Also on Ansible, you can see this. There is a documentation. You can check how the playbook is used on Ansible documentation, so that you familiarize yourself with it. Then apt. Okay. So name of the, so you can say Apache 2. Okay, let me just say save. All right. So let me run this Ansible playbook. So ask, what we did earlier to run. So we want to, so that we can have access to all this other machine without asking for password. So that's why I do ask become pass, then install Apache 2.yaml. Right. So once we put the password, and that will be it. Now you can see it has installed, is installing rather. You can see that's why you see all those information, gathering facts for the one, then it has installed. So you can see the changes. It says for the server 1, see it changed 1 for the server 1, changed equals 1 for server 2 as well. So let me just rerun that command and let's see what are we going to see. Let me enter, let me put the password. Alright, okay. So if you check the first command, you can see where it says changed equals 1, change equals 1. For the second command, it says changed equals 0. It means if the first time we run the command, it has installed Apache on all the servers. So the second time we run the command, nothing happened, just because we repeat the same thing that we've done before. So that's why you can see nothing happened for the change. So let's just check all those servers. Let's see if Apache is truly installed. You can see that's for server 1. Apache is installed. For server 2, let me copy the IP address. So you need to open the port for this for you to be able to check this on your browser. So copy server 2. So let's see. Alright, okay, what's happening? Let's check. Alright, so for server 2, you can see Apache is also installed. So this is basically how Ansible functions, have a host node to run all to automate anything you have on all the connected machines. So I hope this helps someone in your cloud journey. Thank you for joining.